Hey, my name is Trip Six, and I'm with Gears, and you're listening to Conversations with Vin and Sori.
I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
Hey, I'm Brandon. I play drums in Suburban Paranoia.
And hey, I'm Daniel Arruda, and I am the lead guitar and rhythm guitar player for Suburban Paranoia.
Yes.
Suburban Paranoia.
Yeah, you guys were actually, anytime we do a band review, I always tell the band, like, for a non-established, non-mainstream, whatever people want to say, I always tell them, like, our community is pretty brutal, but you guys got a ton of really positive feedback.
Yep.
They genuinely like that, and that's not, I think Gershok is kind of the only band that's not a big band that gets a lot of love in the comment section.
Yeah.
But you guys, people were really, really, really happy. I got a couple people saying,
they want them all.
like this, Marcin. He says, "Cool band, another cool video. Much love and respect to all of you. Bandcamp, here I come." So he ended up buying a CD. So it was a really, really good song. Really good job. Okay, so Dan, I get the idea that you were kind of the mastermind of the band,
Yes, I'm one of the original founding members, all the way back to 1990.
Whoa, 1990.
I was 5.
Yeah, so, when Brandon says Dan's old school, yeah, I'm old school.
Okay, so was the band always called Suburban Paranoia, or did you have a couple iterations of the name of the band?
From about 90 to 94, it was Suburban Paranoia, and then the band actually broke up, and then we did kind of the same lineup, and we were called Concussion for like 2 years. And then that dissolved, and then me and the original bass player singer started back up Suburban Paranoia in 96. And then, we've had various lineup changes over the years. Several, actually. Several different singers, several different drummers, and a few guitar players. But the whole mainstay of it is it's just been, this is what I've been doing the last 28 years.
Right.
Yeah, so when you've been doing it for that long, what's like the biggest thing that you're like, this was the biggest and hardest change that we had over, like, as things changed over the last 30 years?
Oh, well, probably trying to find a drummer after the band dissolved the second time. There was a hiatus for about almost 2 years, couldn't find a drummer.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because nobody wanted to play that kind of music, I guess. I don't know, but it's because we were putting ads out for everything, and nobody was biting. And then finally one day I got a bite. It was probably 2002, I believe, 2003. We got a drummer that bit, and then he lasted about a year or two, and then we got another drummer, and he that was like 2006, and he was our drummer from 2006 or 7 to about 2014, I think. Yeah, so
is that Peter Vargo?
Yes, that was Peter Vargo.
Do you know how I know his name?
Oh.
Because he's the most recent message. Comment in the comment section.
Yep.
He said, "I played drums for this band for the better part of 12 years. I played the song hundreds of times. It was so awesome to see this reaction. It brought me to tears. Suburban Paranoia are a great bunch of dudes. They're my brothers, they're my family. They'll always be the best group of guys I had the pleasure to play with. Awesome reaction." So,
yeah.
So that's really cool because, sometimes we interview bands and when a person leaves, there's kind of that tension.
Sour.
Yeah, between both parties, but it seems like it's all love. How do you make...
Yeah, because a lot of times they'll say, when I was there, they did really good.
Blah, blah.
When I left, things really kind of went down.
Yeah. So Brandon, you're the drummer, right?
Yeah, man. So took over for Peter and Scotty, for that matter. Scotty from Gershok, who drummed for us for about 2 years. filling in after Peter left. And actually, just to clear up a little bit, Scotty is the one who played on the I Remain single that's out there right now.
Oh, okay.
Was he also the one in the video? Was he in the video, or was it you?
Probably. Oh yeah, because I've been playing the live stuff. So Scotty recorded all of the drums for the upcoming CD, the Never Die CD. He did all the drums, and then he, that's his baby. So, much respect to that. Once Scotty left, as Dan was kind of putting it, it's really hard to find a drummer out here, which is crazy because the Bay Area in California, which is where I'm from, is huge on thrash metal, punk rock, and all that other shit. Yet we find it metal punk rock musicians.
Yeah. And so Dan, like, is there one specific person that is responsible for the lyrics, or is it a group project for the lyrics?
Well, for like some of the early stuff, it was mainly me, but recently, the last few years, it's been a collaboration. Me, Brandon, and the other guys.
So who wrote Remain? I Remain.
I did.
So it's how long ago that was released? 20 July 2019. It
Right.
made for a very deep discussion with the three of us.
Yeah.
Ourselves and Zonia. It seemed like on that particular song you were definitely trying to say something significant and contemporary. Is that kind of, I don't want to say I don't want to say that it was political, but it was a commentary on what's going on, in our current milieu. So is that what you were gunning for? And is that something that Suburban Paranoia does a lot, or was that just a one-off, you had some inspiration?
Well, it was just over the, actually that song was wrote back in 2001.
Whoa.
And it hasn't changed or anything. It's not too much. Brandon might have added a few lyrics here and there at the very end, but the mainstay of the song has been the same, and the message is still the same. And the way I wrote it was, the simple fact is, all the stuff that's going on in the world, all the, the wars and everything, just, political things, all that stuff going on in the world, and we're surrounded by it, and we're, that's what we're subjected to every day, and yet we're still here, and we're still, plugging away,
Yeah, there was just this big, especially the concept of fear and being able to kind of power through it, push through it.
Yeah. I mean, dude, I can relate to, like, back in the mid '80s when we bombed Libya. That kind of had an impact on me, and then the towers coming down. That was just crazy, and just all the political crap, with Clinton and just the Iraqi war and all this stuff, all this crap that we're subjected to, that we just have to we have to deal with.
So you wrote it in 01.
Yeah.
After the World Trade Center, right? Was that kind of...
Yeah, it was right after that, I believe.
How come you sat on it for so long before releasing it?
That was going to be my question. So I'm looking here. It's released 20 July 2019.
Yeah. Well, that's... I sat on it for so long because, didn't have a lot of resources at the time, didn't have a lot of connections at the time to get the music out, and, now it's I have the resources now and everything, and it's Brandon's a big part of that resource. He there's a story behind when Brandon joined the band, and and how he's been doing things with the band. I mean, honestly, when he joined back in, I think it was 2014, I was about ready to quit because I lost my bass player to ALS.
Whoa.
And then I lost my mom the month after that. So I was kind of like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore, But, Brandon kind of came in and he gave me his vision and said, you've got a lot more left in the tank than you realize. So,
wow.
I have to give Brandon a lot of credit for what's going on now,
So to really add on to that, so I'm kind of what you call a bull in the china shop kind of individual.
I gathered that.
As did I.
He is.
I'm not really a very docile or subtle individual for the most part. Like, I do kind of, people the wrong way sometimes. I don't necessarily mean to. And what I mean by that is, like, when I came into the band, and in 2014, I literally quit my own band right before that. I had a band before this called Giving the Devil His Due, and it's pretty much like Dan's story. Suburban Paranoia is Dan's baby. Giving the Devil His Due was kind of my baby. And due to many conflicts of interest, I've quit my own band twice. But Suburban Paranoia, they ended up losing their singer. And I was like, hey, man, like, I know you just lost your singer, but let me come in and try out. He's like, well, okay. I mean, you gotta learn this, you gotta do that. And, I came in and I learned 4 songs right off the bat. And I think I killed it. I think I did pretty well. But, being the bull in the china shop kind of individual, I pretty much laid it out. And I was like, look, I know Suburban Paranoia has some real good potential. Like, and I feel like it's being squandered by, like, not just playing the random bar show here and there. Like, we need to do more. And I can help you get there, but I need your help to do that. And I just kind of laid it out like, we need to streamline some things. We need to, we need to tour. We need to do this. Like, I pretty much came in and said, this is what's happening or else.
So
yeah, ultimatum.
So this is extremely fascinating to me, because I'll tell you guys right now, I'm probably the most petty individual on the face of the earth. So if I started a band and then some guy comes and says, hey, I'm like, get out of here. How did you develop the type of maturity that would say, you know what, kid's got a point? And even what you said 5 minutes ago, where you gave a lot of credit to the kind of reemergence of Suburban Paranoia, how did you get to have that kind of maturity and big picture thinking? Asking for a friend.
Well, I mean, I just had the feeling, I've been doing this a long time, and in the business, you're able to read people,
right.
And I just read what he was selling, and, and he backed it up. I mean, that's the thing. When you back it up, there's really nothing else left but that, and that's what he did. And, like I said, I give him a lot of credit for pulling me out of the fire, because, back in 2014, I was already, in like 24 years, and I'd done all the horse shit end of the deal, booking the shows and doing all, and everybody was just kind of doing their own thing. Oh, when are we going to play again? Well, you can book a show too. And,
yeah.
And that's the one thing that Brandon instilled, like, I'm going to book shows, but you guys are going to help, and you're going to get involved, and you're going to get your hands dirty. And I understood that because I'd done it before.
Yeah.
Would you say that? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Would you say that the background stuff, like what y'all two were talking about, booking shows, the strategy to kind of saturate so that people can get wind of the band? I'm sure in your close to 30 years, Daniel, that you've observed other bands maybe with a ton of potential, but don't tour, don't do the little things that need to happen, and so they never come. I mean, is that something that is common, or is it a one-off?
It's in the 28 years, 30 years I've been doing it, I've seen a lot of bands with great potential, and they're held back by one person in the band or somebody,
yeah.
you know, with an ego, a big ego. Ego plays a big role in why bands don't work and why bands do work.
Right.
So, you know, and me, I can honestly say I don't have a big ego when it comes to this. I mean, you know, I've been doing it a long time, and you know, like, I believe that I show people my talents on stage rather than you know talking. You know,
Yeah.
that was one of the reasons why I got rid of one of my drummers years ago, because he liked to talk online, he liked to talk crap, and you know, I literally had to save him one night because of one of the other bands he was talking about.
Oh no.
He came up to me, he's all, man, I'm not going to do anything to your drummer, because I know you, Dan, but I would break his kneecaps right now for all the crap that he's talking.
Wow.
And
Whoa.
I said, okay, all right, well, that's good to know, thank you, and I do apologize for his behavior, and I will talk to him. And you know, I told him you need to knock that off, and just, you know, well, they suck, and I'm like, well, you don't need to say that. You just need to go up and prove how good you are and how good we are. That's all you have to do.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything else.
I think that's just really, really important for people to hear, you know, especially now with the advent of social media and YouTube. Like, you're not going to make your bread and butter on record sales.
Right.
Right? So you have got to find ways to compensate. And you even see big bands doing that. Like, when I was going to Slipknot and Korn shows, there was no, like, VIP packages, like, broadcast the way that it is, but they're doing the arithmetic. They're saying, okay, if we go on a 20-city tour and 50 people pay 10 grand, that's an extra blah, 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 blah. Like, probably 500K, I don't know. But, so I think, like, the nuts and bolts part of it, of the music industry and the music business, it is a business.
That's what a lot of bands forget. It's a business.
It's a business.
Well, I think it's hard sometimes, probably, when you're thinking it's about your art and you get focused on the art, and expressing the art is great, but it does have just some very precise things that you have to do that are not necessarily artistic, but it's grind that has to happen to promote yourself and to get out there and get your songs out there into the mainstream. So
yeah, you know, you just have to believe. You got to believe in yourself and just keep plugging away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like a big glacier, chipping away at that glacier. You know.
Yep.
We just had a meeting recently where we talked about, you know, what kind of goals do we have for the band? And obviously, outside of the musical goals of the band, we also want to cover that whole social media aspect for the band as well.
Yep.
So we've been kind of doing little test videos here and there. So you can find Suburban Paranoia on YouTube, and we have a couple, like 3 or 4 episodes of what we call the Suburban Paranoia Chronicles, and it's like goofy tour stuff, funny interviews, kind of skits, kind of like old KY skits, kind of stuff like that. And you can find that on YouTube. So, and then we're starting to establish like our Instagram.
Yeah.
Trying to do more, because as you said, you can't survive as a band on music alone anymore.
Right. Yeah, send us those links after this interview. We'll add it into the description on this video. That's where you can find that fun stuff he's talking about.
Hell yeah. Also, just to add in a little bit, because we were talking about I Remain earlier, and like Peter, and what. So as Dan said, I Remain has actually been a song in the band for quite a while, as he said. Peter played the song infinitely different than I played the song.
Oh.
And I pretty much play the song the way Scotty plays it, which is more of a hardcore song as opposed to the way he was playing it before, kind of like Nico McBrain from Iron Maiden. He had a lot, like in between the spaces of the like he'd have a lot of like hi-hat accents and very complicated drum patterns. And Scotty came in and he started playing, and I was like, bro, just keep that. Do it just like that. That way it makes the head do this instead of
Right?
I'm thinking
Yeah.
about this riff.
Yeah, so Scotty came in, simplified it, got me all excited because I'm a 35-year-old hardcore thrash kid. So I was like, yeah, just like that.
Yeah, that's so. Dan, what was the moment when Dan Arruda looked himself in the mirror and said, "I am going to be Dan Arruda Rockstar"? How did you go to? What happened to that point where you finally said, "You know what? I'm forming it. We're doing this." Like, tell me that moment.
It was when we formed it back in 1990. I mean, honestly, I've had that drive ever since then. And, you know, there have been pockets of times throughout the last 20, 30 years where I might take a little bit of a hiatus, you know, kind of recharge my batteries a little bit, that kind of thing. You know, one little thing I wanted to say, back in 1993, I was kicked out of Suburban Paranoia.
What? But it's your own thing.
I was kicked out of my own band, and I got a phone call from my drummer, no, my singer,
What's that
and
called? Mutiny?
both singers. They called me and said, "You're not, you're just not what we're looking for, dude." You know, and I'm like, "What? I've been doing this 2 years." And you know, the guy that was the other guitar player at the time, I buried him, you know, because I could play, but they didn't think I could play well enough. So, you know, they shit canned me for a year. So I went back into my room for a year straight, threw in some Slayer, some Pantera, some Exodus, some Overkill, and was playing that for a year. And I gotta say that year was helped me out a lot.
Wow.
When I came back to because they had broken up the band in '94, and the guy who fired me says, "Hey, you want to get together and jam?" I'm like, "Why? You know, you fired me. Why?"
Right,
you know?
right.
And then he's all, "Oh, come on, man, let's just do it." And I'm like, so we went and jammed, and he's all, "God, you got a lot better." And I'm like, well, that's what happens when you get a little disgruntled and you get a little pissed off being kicked out of your own band. And so you take that aggression out by honing your craft. And that's what I did.
That's what you did.
Yeah.
My brother.
That's what I did. And, you know,
not everybody would do that,
Right.
man.
Right.
No, I'm a different kind of a cat, man. I'm not, like I said, you know, this is the funniest thing. I'm 48 years old and I've never done drugs.
Whoa.
Never done drugs.
Oh, good
Got a lot
for
of
you.
contact highs at concerts, but never was offered everything in the world, and I said, nah, that's cool. I got
Does Viagra count as a drug?
Yes, it does.
yeah, well, I've never taken it, but so I guess, yeah. I don't know. God, man.
What, Dan? What was your reason for not? Why did you always say no?
That's a good question.
I just didn't need it in my life. I mean, you know, I'm the kind of guy that will, you know, have a casual drink with somebody. Mm-hmm. I'll drink a few beers, I'll take a couple shots, but you know, the other stuff, I've seen all my friends do it, and I've seen what it did to them, and it's like, you know what? I don't really want. That's not my thing, man. Music's a lot safer.
Wow.
You know,
That's
a lot safer, and I'll tell you what, it's therapeutic as hell.
Yeah.
right.
You know,
Right.
Can we
I don't
tattoo
think
your chest?
what's that?
Straight in.
What do you say?
Yeah,
Straight edge
But
tattoo.
honestly, the music itself, for me, it got me through some of the darkest times in my life. If I didn't have it, I don't know if I'd be here, you know. And that's just coming from the heart, man.
Wow.
You know, there's nothing that really replaces that other than my family, you know. I mean, you know, that's it. I mean,
I was
my beautiful loving wife, of course, she thought when she got together with me back in '98 that it was a fad, but I was already 10 years in, and then she's still waiting for me to stop doing it, and well, she's gonna have to wait a long time because I'm not done.
Wow.
Home shot, brother.
So thank you guys so much for your time. We're reaching the end point, but we got some lightning round questions for y'all.
Sure.
If you can. Okay. Favorite Suburban Paranoia song, Brandon?
Oh, Oh, Jesus Christ. Probably.
You guys got a song called Jesus Christ?
That's crazy.
Not yet.
Probably One Day You'll Die. It's on our Exhibit X kind of garage recording that you can find on our Bandcamp. That's probably one of my favorite songs.
What about you, Dan?
Oh my Lord, there's a catalog here.
You've got a song called "Oh My Lord." There's a catalog here.
No, well, it's
That joke's dead.
you know, in being doing this for 30 years, you write a lot of songs. So I've got like probably 50 or 60 songs, but I would probably say one of the newest ones would be "Where's Your God."
Whoa. Yeah.
Really like that one. That's on the new disc coming out, hopefully soon here. And I think, you know, a lot of the guitar leads that I did, other than the I Remain lead, actually a couple of them, but all the guitar leads I did on the fly. So they were not.
You just improvised it.
Improvised everything.
I'm just gonna destroy all my guitars now.
I Remain in the beginning. You know, when you hear the dual guitar lead thing, that was improvised. Right off the top of my head. Two or three takes, and I got it. I got both harmonies.
What is that like, Brandon, watching somebody like that work at that level?
Yeah.
It's excruciating. Because I want to do it too.
That's the thing. You get a friend that can come up with some, because I actually commented on the video when we did the review. I'm like, yo, those leads are crazy.
Yeah.
And the reason, here's the thing for me is like, I didn't grow up like my whole life with metal, right? So like when I first entered into metal from the Korn angle, so I started with new metal, and of course there's no solos in new metal, right? And then all my elitist friends said, Vincent, it is now time for you to listen to real metal, and that's Metallica, and not the Black Album Metallica, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember listening, and yep, here comes the solo, bunch of notes, bunch of shapes and all that, great, but it's just...
Yeah.
Whereas yours was, not to say that you didn't go off a few times, but yours was more like, I just feel like it was in line with the song, and the song would have been completely different without it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there are a lot of songs that we listen to with solos, and I'm like, the song would be fine without the solo.
Yeah.
But I feel like...
a lot of my guitar leads, I write them as like I'm singing them.
Whoa.
Oh.
So yeah, and I have a horrible singing voice. So I'm a poor man's Lemmy. So anyways, yeah, that's how I do it. You know, that's how I think about it. You know, it's like, I mean, a million notes sounds cool, but some spots no.
So Dan can do this awesome thing where he can pretty much carry King from Slayer it like all day long, where he'll just, you know, he can do that all day long, no problem. But the one thing that Dan can also do is he can play to the strengths of the song. And that took a little refining over time from our current producer, Brian Altman, over at Altman Studios here in Oakley.
Yes.
Mad plug. And a little bit of me, because, you know, I kind of had the discussion, like, if you listen to Metallica songs, like, and I'm not putting words in Dan's mouth on saying he's influenced by Metallica or whatnot, but this is the best example I can come with, is like, Metallica does this wonderful thing that when they play solos, you can hum or whistle the solos and memorize how the solos go. I can't say that about, say, Slayer or some Pantera songs, or, you know, like Overkill songs or Judas Priest songs, or like. So when he plays a solo, it's something that gets embedded into your brain because it's catchy.
Nice. Aside, Dan, this question's for you.
I have a question too.
Aside from Suburban Paranoia and Gershok, name the greatest band of all time.
The greatest like band of all time? Wow.
All time.
Wow, that's kind of a tough one because I don't know if they're. I mean, to me, you'd have to, because you're kind of saying greatest band of all time. There's a lot of different bands from different eras, so I'm going to go on a hitch and say, well, I mean, I'm a really big Overkill fan. I love Overkill. They actually did a lot for me as a guitar player. They're like probably my number one band. And those guys are blue collar. They're touring all over the place. They've got 18 studio albums out, and they go to Europe every year. They go everywhere, and they have crowds, massive crowds, and they're underground.
Wow.
Yeah, check them out.
So my question would be, do you guys have a song that you're like, I can't believe people like that one as much as they did? Like, sometimes we put out a video and he'll say, that one has X amount of views. I'm like, what? How did that happen?
Yeah.
Like one of ours or a song in general?
Well, like, for example, I think her name is Tatiana. I just read an article today from Ginger where she said that she had no idea that breakout song that they had was going to blow up the way that it did.
Yeah.
I forgot the name of the song, but it's the one where she's like singing kind of jazzy and then
she goes,
rah, gets the death vocals. So like, is there a song that like has become a crowd favorite or whatnot that you didn't really think was gonna garner that type of result?
I think Dan will agree too. For us, probably Digital Disease.
Yeah, Digital Disease is definitely a crowd favorite. Weaponized is kind of a crowd favorite too.
Yes. Probably a lot of the songs that we have that have a lot of, kind of gang vocal, chanty kind of choruses. The one that I mentioned, Digital Disease, which is coming on an upcoming album soon. Look for that soon.
Yeah.
Products. And it's got a very slow building kind of, first part of the song where it's just and like really like slow galloping beat, and then it picks up into kind of thrashy chorus. Like,
what's the name of that song?
What's that?
What's the name of that song?
Digital Disease.
I'm intrigued.
It's one of those songs, every time we look up and look into the crowd, everybody's headbanging. Everybody's like, yeah!
And all in unison. Yep.
Nice.
It's like the ultimate, like, ear-catching song. Like, oh, what is that? Oh, shit! Okay. All right. See what you...
Yeah, we sometimes, that's like a change of pace song for us. Because, usually when we open a show, we kind of go a little fast and heavy. And, like, for example, our last show we played on Friday in Sacramento at the Holy Diver, we like fast ones. And then we're like, boom, we go right into this one. And everybody's like, oh, this is a little different. Whoa, cool. And then they're like, they really got into it.
Whoa. I got to thank you guys for being generous with your time. If you can answer one more question, we'll let you go.
Sure.
You mentioned folk headbanging in unison to this song, right? Mm-hmm. What is that like? And here's why I want you both to answer. One, you've been doing this for almost 30 years, Daniel. And then two, Brandon, you kind of took a leap of faith, man. You left your own band and then jumped in here. I mean, that's not, I just want people to understand, like, you got to take risks. You got to be calculated. There's a lot of, give and take to be successful and have that longevity. So what is it like for you as a 30-year veteran, people are still rocking to your songs? And what is it like for you as a person who left his comfort zone to be great? So I'd like to hear from you first, Brandon, and then Dan, you can close this out.
Sure.
Leaving the comfort zone of my own band to join like another band and kind of do that whole like, holy crap, now I'm in an area where I have to collaborate with people. Like, actually have to try to listen to what other people want and need into the band in order to be successful. It's not all about me and what I want. So now it's getting down and collaborating. For a little, there were times where like it got a little tedious because this is a band that has like 30 years worth of material. So when I joined the band, they're like, okay, so we have recordings of these songs, we have recordings of these songs, so go ahead and learn these lyrics, learn this, and I'm just like, whoa, wait a minute. In order to make this work, I can't just come in and karaoke sing everything. We need to make this our own. And that took a long time for me to get used to, but now that we're finally generating steam and we're kicking up dust, we're going on tours, we're recording professional recordings, like things are blowing up for us on a small scale, and it's absolutely amazing, and I wouldn't trade a minute of it in the world.
Dan, same to you. What's it like to see him rocking out 30 years later?
It's amazing. Honestly, I didn't think I was going to be doing it this long, but, there's this little voice inside me that said, you still got more left to do, Still got, and it's just the thing about getting on stage. I mean, there's just, it's enjoyable. It's, I'll give you an example. Like at the show Friday night, we closed out the show. Everything was killer. And then there was, in the crowd, there was this kid wearing a Misfits t-shirt, and I told him to come up to the stage, and he was rocking out the whole show on my side. And then I tossed him a pic, right? And then, after a while, he came up to me and he's all, "Can I get a picture with you?" And I'm like, "Okay, sure. That's fine." And then later on, he came down and he's all, "Can you sign my pic? You guys were so awesome. You made my night." Brandon signed some sticks for him. Little 9-year-old kid just rocking out, man.
Wow.
And that's the best. Okay. There's all that, girls and drugs and all. Yeah, whatever, man. When you get kids and people that say, "Man, you changed me, you made my night." That's what I live for. That's what I live for, is putting smiles on people's faces, people getting excited and hey, I came to the show in a downer mood. You got me back up, man. Thank you so much. I can't tell you how many times I've heard it, and I think that's what it is with me. I'm in this to, obviously be a showman, but if I can brighten somebody's day, hey, man, that's gravy.
That's cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Fuck yeah.
That's it,
Awesome.
man.
Can't. That's a perfect cherry on top.
Thanks again, guys, for coming out and
great.
doing this interview with us.
If you, I'm sure you do, you want to hear more than just I Remain, right? If you would like to hear all their information, all their socials, Bandcamp, all of that is going to be in the description. Also, Brandon mentioned that they've got a podcast, so not only can you get their music, but you can also kind of get behind the scenes and listen through the thoughts of this band that you love. So all that data is going to be down there. Go check them out. Vin out.
Sori out.
Yo, Brandon from Suburban Paranoia, we're out.
Gone.
Say bye, Dan.
Yo, Daniel Aruda, the Shred Demon, out.
Bang.
Matt, shout out to Juan Venegas. He couldn't be here joining us tonight because he wasn't feeling good. So
Aww.
Matt, shout out to this player.
We'll get you next time, big homie. We're out of here, guys.
Yeah.
Have a good one.